Good evening, folks. Samson to LIBERIA Public Radio. I want to thank all of you again for tuning in to LIBERIA Public Radio this evening. We say thank you. Those of you that are out there right now, please share this video for us. And we will really do appreciate that. Please share this video, of course. We want to thank you very much for your continued support. We're here again this evening. Hopefully, we'll be joined here very shortly by our contributors, and we can have a conversation. But I'm capable of carrying this thing here all the way out. So safety. Lord Jesus, we want to thank you again this evening for bringing us back here. It is only through your mercy that we are here, and we must recognize such. Lord Jesus, thank you. Thank you for your forgiveness. Thank you for forgiving all of us, for giving us the opportunity to be here again tonight. My Lord, only through you that everything's possible. You give every one of us the same opportunity. You don't pick and choose. Only a good father like you would do that. If our lives and everything we do on earth were depending on man to decide, some of us will have serious problem. But because of you, we do whatever we can. With your help and your blessing, we are able to do whatever we have to. And I want to thank you. I want to thank you, my Lord. I want to thank you for your continued blanket of love for all of us. Thank you. Thank you. Lord Jesus, we ask, as we always do, to please bless the country of the Republic of Liberia. Lord, we ask you to bless the leadership of the Republic of Liberia. Give them wisdom to do what is good for our people. Lord Jesus, we ask that you bless the host country of the Republic of Liberia. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right, let's get going here. Let's get going. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please share this video. Please share as much as you can. So there's been a lot of stuff here. I'm hoping that we will be joined here. But have you guys watched this video with the National Patriotic Party? They are splitting. It was violent. It was deadly. I mean, people were cussing each other. So I'm not too sure if Liberians have the ability to understand that politics. It doesn't have to go that far. You're in it for a discussion. You're in it to take your ideas further. It is not about fighting. It is not about killing. We got problem. Houston, we got problem. But anyway, that's Liberia. We'll do our best. We will do our best. So tonight we're going to be rumbling all over here. That's for sure. As soon as the contributor comes around, and we will try to study this shape here. But I say to you, it's I don't call it NPP. I'm not too sure what exactly they were trying to achieve. And these are people that Ambassador Louis Brown believe that they are of how did you put it? Good standing in the community. The party is we're going to we have done things politically to be viable, and they're still there. He didn't talk about the fact that they were fighting each other. No. So I'm hoping that the coming groups will join me here tonight again. I think Mr. So is working behind the scene. Hopefully, we will have Dr. Baka people here too, and CDC people here as well, and so that we will have a balanced equation here. We've been asking for women to join us over and over, but they prefer to go to the cussing show. We don't do cussing here. Here we talk intellectual. But anyhow, tonight's program, as you can see, I'm still waiting. Okay, Mr. George is here. Let's bring him on so he and I can start this process right away. You know, Mr. George and I, we don't agree on many things, but we respect each other and we know who we are. Mr. George, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Good evening, Mr. Tool.
I'm lucky. God, I hear you shaking out, getting ready to come, go down again tonight. You got that you're not hearing me. I'm going to go down the route. But anyway, good evening. Thank you for joining us. So, what's on your plate tonight? What do you think? I got something. I put something up there that we're going to be discussing. But what's on your plate tonight?
Well, I just looking at the trend of events happenings in Liberia.
When you look at from your own perspective and taking yourself out of the shell of supporter or admirer right now, but as just strictly a political junkie, just like myself, involved with everything Liberian politics, you're involved, trying to read on it and study more. What do you make of this election commission and this fiasco about this machine that's supposed to, and the people fail, and all of the thing, the NPP, the way they're caring about, and what do you make of it? You think we will have a successful election? You think?
Well, the word successful is relative. So, but there are problems from either side. Look at the time now, they're talking about this machine, this electronic machine. Why did they do this thing ever since? You got, I think, a year to an election. Now, who this contract going to be awarded to now? Because I remember the board of commissioners went to the legislature last month, so, and the legislature said they were not satisfied with some of the answers they were giving them about the machine, the functionality of the machine. Like one point they said that where there's no internet service, the machine, they will take the people information and it will store it. Then when they come, then they upload it to a system where they have internet. And the electrician, that was a little bit too big, that was a little bit too complicated. They need to make it a little bit simple. So they told them to go back because what they were laying out, they say it was not feasible. You know, they were confused that, hey, there's no current here, okay. But you take the people information, store it in the machine, then take it somewhere where they have the internet set down, upload it there. And they say they're having problem, they have some issue with that. The contract was awarded to one company. People said that the contract not even awarded, the company start printing papers and things, samples, all kind of thing. Now they are saying the company is not capable of handling the job, to do the job. So you got to go back to square one again. So you got to ask for another company to bid again. So with that kind of time frame, I'm getting a little bit afraid whether the election commission will be effectively able to go this digital thing they want to do. Will they be able to do it on time? And if they do it, will it be able to serve everybody according to the law that everybody will have access? They talk about voter ID cards, fingerprint. Are they going to reach all the people? You got a sensor now. How the sensor is being done? Are they going to go to villages? Or they just want to sit down and say, okay, you tell how many people in that town? So the whole thing here is all the thing should have been done according to the time.
Yeah, but Mr. George, you have not put in another factor into the conversation of yours. What with the money? Do you think they have the money and they were not doing it, or they didn't have the fund?
Mr. Toll, the censor is a constitutional issue. Every 10 years, there must be a censor. And not just for voting, but the censor is the one that people can determine how to allocate schools, hospitals, other development projects, because it's population growth. So the censor is very vital to the country. Because when you have the censor, government can say, you know what, this area we cannot put a school there because that population is not much for the kind of school. We'll put it in this area because the population is dense. So majority will benefit from it. The censor is so determined. If the company come, say, look, okay, this area is populated. We can send this company there. It's not say have less population. So this area, many people benefit when this company go in this area. So the censor has a whole lot to do. Even the road construction. You can't carry a road somewhere when that road will not have any economic value. So all those things are tied into the censor. So it's not just about election. But the fire is a constitutional issue. I think when George went and took was that very year that they should have done the census. But it's been 5 years now. Are you really sure that they did give priority to the census? No. They did not give priority to the census because the international partner has all been willing to contribute to the census. But the government said they could not come up with that portion of the money. And in fact, one time I think they were on a network, you saw what people said. People ate the money, bought used generator, all kinds of things. So not to say they don't have no more priority. And this is a constitutional issue. And this is how sometimes you look at the legislature and you say, okay, this is it now. Because they should not hold the government feet to fire. If there were real good legislature, they say, hey, this is a constitutional issue. You are violating the Constitution. But one, the legislature is controlled by the ruling party. So they get away with all these things. And so it's not about money, it's prioritizing something that is constitutional. That should have been done. And at that time, by the time we'll have no headache again. We would have known all the people in Liberia at that time. But look at the time now. I bet you, they see watching so too, it will have a whole lot of controversy about this census here. People will come with different news again because the way they're going to do it.
Okay. All right. Again, folks, if you're listening, Samson told us Mr. George, who just given us this a hundred of information here. But let me go straight to our point here tonight, Mr. George. Here is Councillor Gonglo, who I'm from East Africa, that is. He's saying that he said, though it is prudent that opposition political parties work together with concerted effort ahead of the election, President Weah is not vulnerable enough to be defeated at the poll due to dismal performance as president. He made these, Councillor Gonzo observed that the trust and confidence reposing in President Weah by vast majority of the citizens in 2017 has eroded, and as such, there is no guarantee of his re-election in the pending election. But I'm not too sure whether you were able to read that today.
No.
But Councillor Gongo is pretty much taking it from our playbook. Wanting to, or maybe I was reading it wrong, but wanting to see that in other words, yeah, individual political party or individual candidate might be able to defeat the president, but his main concern is that from what I was reading, that he would like to have collaboration. What do you make of that?
Mr. Toll, I think someone has said this thing here.
Collaboration. Wait. Don't come run away after now. Wait, someone say, Mr. Toll, you have said it in here.
No. You be saying your song is black guy must be like this.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. All right, let's leave it. Let's leave it because I know exactly where you're going, and I want to eat crawl here right now. Too soon to eat crawl. So okay. Go ahead.
No, so we know that if the parties are divided, politics is no more. George Weah is an incumbent. He'll have a little bit edge if they are divided. But if they are united, the chance of George Weah winning is very slim. That is just true. And I think Councillor Gonglo is recognizing that now. You know? And it's good that so when you hear the political leaders saying this thing, just bear in mind there's some conversation going somewhere with some group, some consultation is going somewhere. Because he was not speaking like this before. Now he's speaking like this. It means that people, political parties and like the opposition group, those groups are doing some conversation, they are engaging other political groups. That's what you see when you see the statement coming like this. And that's the reality. No one political party can just get and say they will win George Weah upright. No way.
But yes, the thing also he said, let me read that. And yeah, but he's a lawyer. So they're very crafty. Yeah, and they use these kinds of double talk. Yeah, he said here, after telling us that, then he goes on, he said, I don't share the view that now one opposition political party can defeat CDC in 2023, though it is a good thing for opposition to come together. To keep saying that means George Weah is powerful, and I don't think he is. What is happen? What has happened in terms of governance in the last 5 years of President Weah administration fell far below the expectation of people of the West Point and Grand Jita that voted overwhelmingly for him to 2021. So he's also now saying, yeah, but overall he's arguing that the idea of having a political party coming together was something to be something. So let me chip away a little bit off of that from my own perspective. With that understanding coming from Councillor Gonglo, I think he and his people are leaving room to encase that idea it's non perceived from the Cummins or the Buckeye people as being a genuine or not genuine, but are being accepted by them. Now, Buckeye, I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure if Buckeye is not going to be open up to this idea. But Cummins, the people, the group he's bringing on, I don't see any flexibility in this group. On Ambassador Brown, I don't see flexibility of him accepting a permanent politician such as Gonglo to be part of that group. I don't see that coming out of Musa Ability accepting that. I don't see that coming out of McIntosh accepting that. And because the point here, and even the new person who will soon be joining the group, who is Senator Bonnie, the NPP split away, or independent NPP, or whatever they call them, they might be calling themselves. I don't see any flexibility in any of these people to accept a permanent politician to join them. Now,
who is a permanent politician?
Councillor Gonglo.
What about Louis Brown?
What political party Louis Brown have ran before? He's not.
No. Not just.
Mr. Center Right, I'm entitled to my view. You can't say no. I'm entitled to my view. I'm entitled to my view tonight. Let me express my view freely. I mean, this is not time for Central Right conservative idea trying to chuck my view out of me. I'm entitled to my view, so let me express it freely. So, who I consider permanent politician and a good one at that, the Councillor Gonglo. It's my view. I'm entitled to it, and you don't have to agree with me. But the point here, these other people, I don't see any flexibility in them. I could be wrong, but I just don't see them accepting a huge political figure such as Councillor Gonglo to come and join their rank. Because Councillor Gonglo now, remember, he has a broom. He's sweeping. And many of these people, including myself, none of us have a clean skeleton, clean closet. We all have skeleton in our closet. But politically, if that happens, and you have Cummins, who I think is being led right now, instead of him leading, he's being led. I say so. He's being led by people who think he's the same thing they did to Dr. Weah. That's exactly what is happening with Cummins. They're going to pretend to Cummins that they're seeking his interest, whereas they're seeking their own interest. And we can see that already. And let me just make this point. I'm entitled to my view. And I will make it clear and say it. Look at Ambassador Louis Brown. Do you think Louis Brown does not have a hand in the split up of the NPP? And how soon will we see Cyril Island joining the bandwagon of Cummins? It's just a matter of time. So basically what I'm saying is if Kumi is not careful and the ANC is not, they are not careful, they will be the dumping ground for anybody who disagree with any other political party that is in a collaboration and join and say, because of that, now they're going to say, oh, I got a place to go. They will start whatever it is they want to do with CDC collaboration or what, they will jump back to Kumi. So now Kumi, if he's not careful, he's going to be the dumping ground of all of the political lightweight, I say so. Lightweight would be Johnny Cummings, and Cummings being led right now and might not be able to resist that. What say you?
You know, Mr. Tool, we always quick to prejudge people. It just sounds ridiculous for you to say Cummings will not accept Gonglo or Louis Brown, that the Magnetic Gateway will not accept Mr. Cummings. I mean, it's just outrageous. I don't know, that's your opinion. Maybe you got some facts, I don't know. But it sounds very ridiculous to say that these people will just come and say, don't deal with this person, or don't deal with this person. I don't think Mr. Cummings is that type. Okay? And so when you talk about old politicians, yeah, all the people started a political career from the University of Liberia. Councilor Gonglo from the University of Liberia, Louis Brown from the University of Liberia, all of them started from there. All the people, 20-some more years, they've been in politics. They are all old politicians. Okay? They are not new politicians. They are old politicians. They have worked for government. So they are not just guys who just come from school and come into politics. No. These people have been in the game for 20, 35 years, some of them. So all of them, if you look at, they are all politicians. But to say that these people would not accept, allowed to accept Mr. Gonglo, that's a far-reaching statement. Councilor Gonglo is a very permanent son of Liberia. He's now going to politics. And I think if you talk to people, because here's the thing here, politics is people who have like-minded people. If you must have the same like-mind who can agree on certain things, who can work together. So if I come into a political institution, their view and my view got to be something that coincide together, that will coexist. If that's why I would say, no, then the place is not for me, I can't stay here. And for you to say again, on the other hand, that Louis Brown might be him in this MPP, let me tell you something. Maybe I don't know why he didn't find the MPP something. And I followed them the few since they had the brawl. And there's no all sides, that is the two factions now. The Constitution, they say, the Constitution has 2 terms for the standard bearer. And Cyril Allen on another station said, next year will be the end of the vice president term. So her position was not in question. Her position was not in question because her term had not yet ended. So this convention they were having, it was about chairman and other people. The secretary general position will be next year also. So it's 6 years, I think 6 year term. So those positions were not in question. But then what happened? They get to the conference, they say, while they're getting ready for the conference, VP, they say she started bringing bosses to a lot of people. Confusion broke out. VP group went outside of the hall and had a convention and say they had amended her term. Now she had another 6 year term. You see there? Your term is not yet over. You come, they say, okay, we'll have another convention outside. They went, they had a convention. Then the other people, the banning group said, they were the one that asked the election commission. The election commission came back and observed the process. So they elected Barney as chairman again. Then they asked what the convention that was heard by the VP was the election commissioner from the own representative of the VP, Emmanuel Lomax. He said he was the chairman of that election. He said he didn't know what the election commission people were there. Now, every election the party is having, the election commission is supposed to be represented there. How you be having a legitimate conference and the election commission is not present? So you see, this thing is involved on greed for power. The vice president is figuring that she might not get the support if they have a new chairman or the chairman is re-elected or whoever do it. She will not have that support to be endorsed for the next 6-year term, because the constitution is very clear. Every side agreed that 2 terms. So the other group are saying, if we would have gone ahead and have the election for the chairman of the party, then we would have called a special session or make an amendment for the VP to go to amend that portion of the constitution, because the VP is still on the CDC ticket. But instead, what they did, the broadening group turned the play upside down to election. Now, the last time I said something, the young man that died from that incident, though he had he said he had some underlying medical condition, but it was the tension from that thing that he went off and eventually died from that incident that was going on there. So right now, to accuse Mr. Brown, I don't know about that. I do not have any evidence. Both sides.
So are you saying here, and we just, at this point we're speculating, are you saying the breakaway NPP, the breakaway faction of NPP will not find a tent on Mr. Cummings' big tent? Will not find space on Mr. Cummings' tent?
Let's say this. Every political party or every individual has a right to associate any other political party. It's not, listen, it's not a criminal in this country here. You can,
why is it?
Hold on.
But okay, go ahead.
I don't know anything. I'm not a member of NPP. I don't have a source. But what I'm saying here is, it's not a crime for any group of people to join any other political party. So we should not make it.
I agree with you.
No. So because Liberian people will all want to do things that will suit us.
But I'm a Liberian man, so
no. We should start customizing things that will suit us. When it suits us, we customize it. With other people know.
Well, that's what we do, and we do that best. Let me push it more. Let me be more ridiculous.
Let me give an example. You saw the last one. A real other senators and other people left to go join the CDC from all political parties. Did you make noise about that?
Yeah, but yes, what I'm saying. It seemed to me, and let me bring Janitor, good evening. Thank you for joining us. As we let me see here. Okay, that's not that one. That's not that one. So let's go back here. Okay. So Jay, thank you for joining us. And let me be more ridiculous on this here. And I'm not pulling punches here tonight, the center right. And this is it. It seemed to me. Let me drink water for because I'm getting ready to throw a bomb. A big one. It seemed to me that Honorable Alexander B. Cummings, it seemed to me, and I said seemed to me, I could be wrong, but from all indication, from what I've been observing, it seemed to me that Cummings likes to go into a people party, break them up, and take half of it. When he came from somewhere, the place he wanted to get a welcome, he went straight to Liberty Party headquarters without consulting the Liberty Party leadership. So Liberty Party, Mr. Central, right? I'm being ridiculous. Your time will come to disabuse me. That's what we do. So he went. Who do we have? We have Liberty Party, Nyongli Kanga. We have Liberty Party, Munsability, and the Liberty Party Munsability is now with Cummings. Here we go again. NPPL, NPP decided to have their convention. They went in there, something happened, they're not together. And that group, most likely, the breakaway group, most likely will find themselves with honorable comments. And you're saying here, like Liberia, they have the right to associate themselves with, because CDC did it, they have people.
No.
I'm Mr. Central Right, I'm almost done.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll come to you. And then you're saying here that the CDC have people, and of course, people from Liberty Party. The chairman of Liberty Party joined CDC. We know that. But is it how we're going to run this Liberian political machine? People going and stealing from one another because CDC did it. That was coming, going out, taking people breaking parties out, so he would get people from there and go to his side. Is that how you're going to lead us? So in other words, you'll come to total and bring my total up and take half of the people there, and the other half he can say your goal. Mr. George and Mr. Jonathan here, you please help me out.
Okay.
What am I saying here that is wrong?
It's just completely wrong and ridiculous.
I've already given you that I was going to be ridiculous. So that I give you.
Yes, the thing is, I'm not giving you justification. I'm just giving you example that these things happen in politics. So if it happens, we should not take it to be that this person is doing something illegal. No. People leave from parties to support, go to other parties. All over the world, it happened. But I think you or United Party people got some fever.
I am not United Party.
Hold on. No. United Party. You people have some.
I'm not United Party. I'm United Party USA, Mr. George. You've been there for years.
I'm not qualifying the United Party as United Party. I'm not going to qualify.
I am Liberty Party USA. I don't want to associate myself with United Party.
You people have issue. That is
not going to accept it.
Somebody leave to go join another political party. Then you want to blame, we got to blame this person. The person broke the party down. No. It is the people will to associate. The right to associate is constitutional. Okay. You cannot restrain anybody who wants to leave an institution to go to another institution. Once they have met the requirement, they can go anywhere.
Okay.
You got Benin with your own man all day. Nobody questioning that one. You're not seeing anything about it. Benin Daniel is not the aide de camp to Barker. Everywhere go, you see him right there on Barker.
He can't do.
You're not talking about that one. You're not talking. You're not saying Barker taking the people part. You're not seeing that one. But it's when it comes to God. Coming one.
Okay, Mr. J. What am I saying that is wrong here, Mr. George? Central Right believe what I'm saying is wrong. What do you believe it is wrong?
Firstly, I think some of the analysis by you are your personal opinion, and you are entitled to it. But at the same time, I think some of them are far-reaching, as Pap George said, and they are far-reaching in the sense that they are not supported by empirical facts, hardcore facts that would support those allegations.
Yeah, but, Jay, I don't mean to interrupt. But you're asking for fact, which is okay. But I went on the Kisara farm yesterday. The Kisara snake come by me. Then I go there again, and I see the Kisara snake coming. What do you think I was saying? I was saying coming to laugh with me.
MPP?
No, but
I'm just telling you. Go ahead, Jay.
Cassava snake will always be on the cassava farm worldwide, especially for Africa. I don't know the rest of the world, but I know in Africa and in Liberia particularly, cassava snake always around the cassava farm. So what you saw one today, we're not stopping for having another cassava farm. But let me go to the core issue that Councillor Gonglo is opening up to an opposition, consolidation, collaboration, and togetherness. To that effect, because I was listening to you, I was driving, listening when you guys were talking. Nobody, and let this thing get off people's head. no political party as of 2017 election, even as of 2017 in particular that I know of, nobody won an election all by themselves. In 2023, there will be no political party that will be winning the election all by themselves first round. Period. Scientific. No need to bother about it, including the George Weah. So that means all of us must co-opt or form forces with other political parties. The issue of Councillor Gonglo being open to discussion. Look, Councillor Gonglo is one of the finest species of our country. I would be glad that he be the running mate of Mr. Cummings. That's my personal view, because he comes with the cloud, the repetition, the experience, the understanding. But it is not my calling to make Councillor Gonglo the vice standard bearer or to be part of Mr. Cummings' team. I can advocate, I can push logic, but it is left with the leader to know as to who becomes his running mate. So there are limitations to each of the things that you say. For example, Ambassador Louis Brown, Ambassador Dr. Gateway McIntosh, and other people, and Musa Berete, Chairman Musa Berete, they were not allowed to see Councillor Gonglo. Everybody has his or her own limitation, and the political standard bearer who has the responsibility by constitution to select his running mate also has that responsibility. So when you measure the limitation, then you will not just say uprightly that it can't happen, all those people have issue. But let me go to the issue of the Liberty Party ANC fracas. All political parties have had issue. ANC got on the way as founding member of ANC. Today, Henry Costa, who is one of the founding members, is in ARP. Jimmy Smith, who represents District Number 2 in Mesorado County, was the vice chair for ANC for administration when I was the deputy secretary for security coordination. There have been other people, the assistant minister at Ministry of Public Works. His name will come to my mind. He's member of the ruling party. He came from ANC. Chasing. So there are people who are moved about. United Party have had convention. The Youth Congress have had issue. Why didn't somebody say it is the making of a particular party? Liberty Party is having issues. People are complaining, young fashion complaining, but they are not following a legal measure. When last did you go to your party headquarters when you are challenging that this man should not proceed with a specific September, they go September month? By political party formation and its structuring by the National Elections Commission, their party headquarters would have been inspected, financial report would have been submitted. So if you say nobody do business with Musa Berete and the CPP in Liberty Party, which are the Liberty Party are you talking about? The one that you're not going to? The one that you're not made report for? Which one? And no matter where we sit and how close we sit to each of the actors, we should be free to tell them. So we zero down now on the conversation about political parties' disenchantment. What happened to NPP will happen to other political parties, will happen to parties in the future. What matters is for you to hold your leader accountable, and that is why people are playing politics with the leadership of NPP. People are playing politics with the leadership of Liberty Party, because there are certain actors who have not been acting in accordance, and the convention wants to kick them out, and they want to protect themselves.
So let me ask two of you this one here. For me, I'd say, Councillor Gonglo, if you're listening to me, your best bet is Dr. Bakai, because I think the owner will open his arm directly to you to be part of that. Let me ask you this. Let me ask both of you this. You think if Councillor Gonglo were to, and I hope he will use his good senses and go with good politics and go with who are talking about the next president of the Republic of Liberia, Dr. Bakai. But let me ask both of you this. You think the like of Ambassador Brown, the like of McIntosh, Dr. McIntosh, and all of great educators and educated people, you think they were truly open their arms and welcome another political guru in your mix? You think? If you know that's not going to happen, why don't we say that Dr. Buckeye is the man that's supposed to be the head of everything else, and then let's come to him, and then you know what I'm going with this. You know, I don't have to say everything I've been saying here for years now. You know where I'm going with this. But the point here: do you truly believe that this statement Councillor Gonglo made on Front Page Africa? You think if he had in mind to negotiate, you think ANC would be the right place to go?
Let me just strengthen our question so you can answer it 2 ways. That Vani Sherman, who have been sanctioned by the Global Magnitsky Act, who support Ambassador Boakai, whether Councillor Gonglo will also be going that way too. So you have followed up. Thank you.
Let me say to you, Mr. Tu, do you know Louis Brown personally? Let me say, do you know Louis Brown personally, politically? Do you know him? Do you know that the Gary personally, politically? Do you know them?
No.
So why are you coming with the assumption that they will not allow Mr. Cummings?
Because I've listened to them. You asked me a question. I have listened to them over the years, and I've listened to their view over the year. For me, I don't see them as people who are willing to compromise. To allow people to be alone with them in the room. They always want to be, and they always believe they are the smarter people of all. And I don't think they will allow any other smart person to join. Just like what's his name? Finance minister, who doesn't want anybody smarter than him to come closer to anything that he's doing. So that's why I'm saying that.
No, but now let me say. That is your opinion.
If I'm wrong, say so. You're very good at that.
No, that is your opinion. You're entitled to it. So I'm not going to tell you anything again about that. That is the opinion you're entitled to. But it looks like what I'm seeing, you're judging people from the distance that you never dealt with. Because if I'm making such a statement, I will have to say, give instances that this group, this person I dealt with on social occasion, based on that, this is why I'm coming to the conclusion. You said Louis Brown, you know dealt with him politically. Personally, you know dealt with him. Dr. Martinez Gateway, you know that there's the man that handled CDC campaign, Dr. Martinez Gateway. If he was someone, he was not person that could relate to people, how did he manage to handle that campaign? So
why is he not with you? Just broke your own neck, sir. Why is he not with CDC right now? Because perhaps he cannot stand the heat.
No, hold on now. Don't be running all around here, because when you talk, you want to run all around here.
Okay, go ahead.
This man handled CDC campaign. They won an election. He organized the economic conference that CDC had in Liberia. That big economic conference. It was Dr. McIntosh who organized it. Besides that, he was still part of the governing council of the CDC. The last job they offered the last time, he turned that job down. You don't know these people, but because the Boakai fever is in you, you want to now to start public campaign for Gonglo to go to Boakai. Now you're trying to put the other people in the pocket of the deplorable that, these people, nobody can work with them. When you had never worked with them before, you had never come in contact with personally, but you're judging them from the distance that these people, nobody can work with them. I don't know how many persons that you know that said, look, I work with Louis Brown, and the guy was very contentious. You can't work with him. Or I work with Dr. Mackinday Gateway. The man was very cantankerous. You can't work with him. Dr. Mackinday, this man had worked internationally in the World Bank. Retired. The records are there. So how come now you just want to come and put oil in the bucket of deplorable because you want to push the Boakai land that Boakai, Gonglo, the only place he used to go to, that the Boakai. You're not even seeing. You got some other people in your party that you're not even naming. Will Anthony Kessler didn't allow Ambassador Gonglo? Will Benina Ure allow Councilor Gonglo? I don't know, but I can't come when I have no idea of so many people's behavior politically to jump to that conclusion. What I can tell you, I have seen Benin action, political action, that he may not let somebody that going to be around that the Boakai. And the reason is, I'm speaking from the experience that Mr. Comey had. He was the one who started the whole trouble in the CPP. So I can tell you for that reason that this man, his attitude, I can say this about him. But I have not seen anything that Louis Brown.
Why do we have to relitigate?
No, without you see that you accusing Louis Brandon that these people they will not allow.
This is a present thing I'm talking about. Why we gotta relitigate the CC?
No, but we gotta make reference because you're not making reference. You just saying, oh, these people, they smart, they will not want no smart person to come around Mr. Comment. And I said, no, that's a wrong statement you're making because you are never there with these people on any occasion, on any level, personally or politically. You are not there with them, and you have no story to tell that. Hey, people told me that this guy is very hard to deal with. No, but I'm telling you, the people who are around Joseph Boakai, some of them, what they would do not to allow Gonglo to come closer to Mr. Boakai. And I didn't want to Mr. Ure. And I said an example. The break on the CP today is because of Benin Ure. Can you deny that?
Well, I'm not going to relitigate those issues. Jay, let me ask you this. And I think perhaps before that, at the end of this week, next Monday, that's when there will be no daylight between you and Honorable Comey. You know that, right? So that means when you come in here next Monday, every question that I ask that you will answer for ANC will be directly coming from comments. I just want you to know that. You told me that, and I'm holding you to that.
Well, you can go there in Sacramento, and you'll be in Sacramento, you can go there and ask him.
No, in the Bay Area.
Yeah, in Sacramento, December.
Yeah.
I'm in Sacramento. He's in the Bay Area. It's only 1 hour away.
And all of you invitation coming.
Okay.
But
let me ask you this. With all of the, and I'm not going to go into the central right comment of the basket of deplorable. I'm not going to take that bait. I'm not going to go that route. But let me ask you this. If all that I'm saying here, they're so ridiculous, I can reading some of the comment people are making about me now, but which is okay with me. It doesn't matter. But let me, Jonathan, are you listening to me?
I'm listening to you.
Okay. So the question to you, sir, is this. This whole coming build up with all of these intellectuals that are joining Comey and saying, according to Mr. Louis Brown, just paraphrasing, Comey is the one that will be able to revamp whatever it is that the government of Liberia need to be successful, because Comey has the leadership, he says. The question that I have on my mind and I'm concerned with, well, not concerned, just a question. Do you think that Comey will be the right person among all, Dr. Bakai, Comey, Councillor Gonglo, and any other political party or political leader? Do you think Comey is the one to be able to steer this ship and take us from where we are now to the next level? And if so, how? And what are some of the things that you think Comey will be able to implement that will be bring some success in this whole issue with Liberian leadership?
Firstly, let me speak to the intellectuals joining Mr. Cummings, and what leadership will he bring, and if he's the one best suited for the national leadership amongst other contestants or aspirants for the presidency. I undoubtedly think that Mr. Cummings has all that it takes to lead our country along with all of us support. When I say support, those who criticize, those who proffer suggestions, like what the platform is doing, those who mobilize in order to see it happen, and those who come up with bright ideas for it to happen. So with all of those resources, Mr. Cummings is absolutely rightfully seated to take on the helm of authority and steer the ship of our country to a prospective destination. And why do I say so? I say so judging from Mr. Cummings' leadership with the CPP. He got the CPP registered. He got it certificated through the legal framework. As we speak today, Emmanuel Gonkwaye and the EFF, I think they started before the CPP or the CPP started before them, either of one of them. But he had not gotten his registration up to now. I'm not saying it to bring him down. I'm not saying it because the stewardship Mr. Cummings put into place to have gotten a CPP registered and have our senatorial candidates across the nation successfully won more than the ruling party and deface the ruling party in most of the constituency within the country or most of the counties. It was because he had a leadership to bring people together. He had a leadership to know what to fight for and when to not fight, because he needed the cohesiveness of the team together to give a loud and resounding message to President Weah that 2023 is going to be challenging for you, but we have to start it now. And he placed resources in that sufficient, both financial and human resource, tapping on all of the skills of everybody within the process. And that brought us to where we won counties and kept the unity, kept engaging the government, not just about complaining about the problems, but also providing lasting solutions to the problem that we were confronted with as a country, ranging from the COVID, advising government that the CPP is prepared to work with you, and the government even lauded through President Weah, lauded Mr. Cummings for some of the efforts in the direction of healthcare as related to COVID, and his openness as a leader of the CPP to welcoming government, collaboration with parties. So he has been all hand kind of pressing. He has structured through his leadership. The ANC today now is the most talked about political party. Sunshine in Liberia, rainfall, cold weather, rest shortage, and people into drug cartel. Everything is held on Mr. Cummings' sanctioning of people who have badly corrupt, just notorious and ordinary common criminals who steal the wealth of the taxpayers' money and build mansions for themselves. They still hold Mr. Cummings responsible, even with those who are confessing in public glare that indeed others are stole, but yet we are stealing in order to invest it in your country. At least you'll be able to see the building, the pin on our building. At least you'll be able to see the size of our home and the size of my mom's grave. And, a poor lady who sent you to school diligently in order to acquire skill and do something for humanity. The girl from my girlfriend's place that I purchased for her birthday. And, all these sort of things. And that's why Mr. Cummings will always say, those of you who are joining the CPP and ANC at the time, now the CPP, those of you who are joining us, this is not where you can play big shot. You can't play boss man. And, this is where you come to do
okay. We're not running campaign here tonight.
So now you ask me about those.
Yeah, but when I ask you now, you're on the only thing that is missing right now is a truck and a music, and a loudspeaker to allow you and the banner of coming next president coming. I'm not even going to go there. Next president, Dr. Baka. That's what I'm going to say. But let me ask you,
but let me end on this. We still
but don't run campaign. We're not running campaign.
No, I'm not running campaign now. I want to talk about the other people. We still respect people that consider Ganglo. We still respect people that Ambassador Bwakai. They are good sons of the land.
Dr.
All
Bwakai.
we are saying is that the energy within us right now The
Okay,
innings
all
will
right,
keep
okay,
coming.
you're running campaign.
We can
All
be
right,
helped,
okay.
and we all
Let
can.
me you're running campaign. Let me yeah, you're running campaign right now. Let me ask Mr. George. Mr. George,
Yeah.
you heard Jonathan, a very serious note. You heard Jonathan giving us a whole laundry of issues and things that he believed character, which is true. Comey does. He has some serious good character. I know that. But when he said that because of his leadership, the government, if he was to succeed, that Liberia will be successful. Is that the same coming that got Donald Chia as a defense advisor, defense minister advisor? Is that the same coming who has gotten, he was talking about Dr. Weah being supporter of rebels, and now he got defense as a incoming defense minister, Donald Chair, and other people who have had some serious moral character issues in the country of the Republic of Liberia. Is that the same comment we're talking about? How now, Mr. George, can you guys separate this coming from that coming? How can you do that? Let me know.
Let me say this and stop misinforming the people. Mr. Comey never told you that Daniel Chair would be his defense minister, or never told you that he's a military advisor to him. These people are born.
May I interrupt a little bit?
Hold on.
Okay, all right. Well, I mean, okay, go ahead. Make your point.
Mr. Cummings never told you, no member, never told you that Daniel Chair would be his defense minister if he wins. And never told you that Daniel Chair would be his military advisor or is his military advisor. So I don't know where you're coming with that story. Okay. But I have said, I have issue with some of the names that were listed. But I do not have any evidence to find any people for crime that people are alleging. And Mr. Toll, you always say yeah, that allegations. And Mr. Comey has said over and over that he believes in the War and Economic Crime Code. If anybody thinking that you want to use something to harm them, he said no. If you are called, you will face your own judgment. And that's why I don't want to go around again to start saying this person, because we all know all the political parties in Liberia, except for Councilor Ngoglo now. I have not seen anybody behind him yet. But all the other political parties got some character.
Mr. George.
So listen now.
Yeah,
I'm not justifying.
I gotta push you on this one. I gotta push
me
back
now.
on this one. I gotta push back on this one.
Uh-huh.
When you're sitting here to say nobody told you that Daniel Chia is going to be the defense minister, and that nobody told you that Daniel Chia is an advisor to Comey on defense. What is his expertise?
Daniel Chair, listen.
Mr. Central Right, the liberal is asking you a question. Let me formulate my question correctly, and you can try to disabuse me on that. If this man expertise that we all saw pointing out to Liberians, other Liberians to kill other Liberians, if that is his expertise, if we agree that he's very good at that. When he was minister of defense on Taylor, when he was fighting in the street of Monrovia, Liberians were dying. If we agree on that, Mr. Central Right, if we agree on that, that indeed Daniel Chair is an expert on defense issue, what would be the motive, the reason for the Daniel Chair to join right now? Is Daniel Chair just joining to be because Christmas coming to be a Christmas tree addresser? I don't think so. So, Mr. George, please give us some good reason here that we can hang our hat on instead of saying because any other reason is unacceptable to me.
Okay, but you then what is the new me speaking? Because anything I say will be unacceptable. So why should I speak on it?
Okay, express yourself. Express yourself.
But you are already concluded that
Mr. Just Central Right, that doesn't mean I should accept it. You cannot bamboozle me to accept your ideas. You can't do that.
Word.
I agree. I say I don't have to accept it. Let's agree.
If you don't have to accept it, then why you want me to talk about it?
Because I want you to say it. No. I don't have to accept it. Mr. Judge, I'm not here as a judge or a jury to convict. I'm not. I'm just giving you express your opinion. It's your opinion.
You're serving as a jury already. Now, that put something in a context.
Go ahead.
What you say that Daniel Cho was in the street of Montreal shooting people, commanding people to shoot. Was it under a normal circumstance that the man just got it?
Mr. George. Yes. My people, y'all come for me. Eh?
No,
George, you know Emon George, the man who can call your hair. I mean, who can pour water in hair and call your hair. That he not talking here tonight. Oh no, you this is a man who don't scare anything. You
drawing something that you're not stating the facts. And if you want to accuse somebody, then say the facts completely.
Was he not the defense minister?
He was the defense minister.
Was he not in the street of Monrovia directing people how to fight?
No, Mr. So that's why I'm asking you. What this direction given by this man, was it a normal second? Just somebody just get and say you start shooting?
It was a war.
Okay, now you see there.
Okay.
Now, just the problem.
So what is your excuse?
Now, listen. This is the problem. Sometimes I have with people. If
was your seeing Alexander Cumming that wrote Dr. Weir to say Dr. Weir was supporting people during war. Now you want to come now and tell me that Daniel Chair's situation is different because it was wartime. So if Dr. Weir supported people, pay money to support people during war, then what is it different? Okay, I'll be quiet. I will be quiet. Go ahead.
Be quiet because you see, I start putting air in your balloon and then you start jumping all around here.
Okay,
now you want to Dr. Weir. You see that what I told you? Stop doing this thing here. It will not help Joseph Walker. You go to Dr. Weir.
I don't know Joseph Walker. I'm not speaking about Joseph Walker. Joseph Walker is I'm not even speaking. I don't know him. He don't know me. I'm not speaking about him.
Because
you're going to jump to George Weir. So let me ask you, what y'all brought in the MPFL?
Mr. Center, that's my question. Why? How you answer question with question?
No. Because you know what the question comes up. Because I asked you. You said Daniel Chair. I asked you what were the conditions at that time that you say he had armed shooting in Liberia. You didn't say that in your statement. I actually said they were fighting war. Now, if they're fighting war, what the defense minister's job is to do is to give instruction as a bossman, which is the president tells him to do. But if that defense minister go and kill innocent people, execute people who are not in combat, then that defense minister will be held liable for that action. So if you tell me though, if you have evidence of, you know what, Daniel Chair killed civilians who were not involved in the fight, there's record, then I can address that issue. But in the absence of that, because he said he was defense minister, so therefore he did it and that he was fighting, that's the job of the defense minister. The difference is if you give command and they massacre people or kill people who are not in combat, then you will be held liable. And the question because I asked you is Bright. I think Councilor Goga in one of his confession, in one of his testimony, he named Bright. Joe said that when he was in the Nigerian ambassador car, he saw this guy, Bright, he named Bright, that they were all in armed. That man today is working in George Weir office. So the one I'm trying to tell you, this Daniel Chair thing, you gotta be careful how you talk it. Daniel Chair, I say for me, if personally with me, he would not be the face of my campaign. If I was him, he would be in the background because the name, just the name alone is toxic to many Liberians. So that's why I said, but for you now to come and start to paint the brush, or because Mr. Comey questioned George White's involvement in the war, so therefore, he should not associate with Daniel Chair or any other person that has some name mentioned in the war. Well, that is your judgment. I cannot question that. But I'm saying all the political parties in Liberia, except for Council of Congress, because I have not seen a people, but many other political parties, everyone that got some warlords or somebody who played a major role within the Liberian civil crisis. So, but what I always say, if we want to hold people responsible, then we should hold them for what they did, personally in their capacity. That's why I'm saying we should hold them. If Daniel Chair went and killed people or gave instructions to any soldier to kill innocent civilians that were not involved in the war, then we should hold Daniel Chair for that. Because that is that form part of the murder or justice. That if you are in this position, murder person, and people who are not in combat, you order the killing, then of course you will account for it. But I seen the picture you're talking about Daniel Chair have gone here. But the question, because the key question I asked you, was this a normal civilian time? And this man just got up with gun and start shooting people according to you?
Jonathan, we are quite familiar with Alexander Comey praise team. Always say he's a clean man. Is this a character of a clean man picking Charles Taylor, former defense minister, who was in the street of Monrovia fighting war, Liberians against Liberians? Is he bringing him on board to now be an advisor to him on military issue? Is that what he's here for? What exactly Daniel Chair is bringing on their table, Jay?
Let me answer the question very directly. And it appears as though most of the questions that I ask CPP people or people who relate to Mr. Cummings will be meant to embarrass them. That's how it appears in the mind of those who will be asking questions. But honestly, the number of times those questions are asked is help to mobilize for us, because we know the kind of view to articulate in regard to the legal process, to what we are speaking about. But let me say that part of the good governance is to be measured in our assertion about other people. When you say good governance, part of it is to be very measured when we are making an assertion about people.
Okay.
So
I'm not here running government, so I'm not here in the good government business. For
no, we are running government.
What I say about Daniel
Chair.
We are running
government.
Yeah,
we are running government. The Fourth Estate is a very cardinal.
But what am I saying here that is not true? Was he not? Was he? What do I need to measure what I say about Daniel Chair? Was he not former minister of defense? Was he not directing people to kill directing Liberians to kill Liberians in the street of Monrovia? Am I wrong to say that?
Yeah, but Mr. Pajo, please don't take my top. Please don't take my top. I understand. That's why we are saying it. I'm quiet because we are ready to move.
Yeah, but you said we need to be measured. Why would I need to measure?
Let me explain what I said measure.
Okay, go ahead.
What I said measure is that with all what had happened during the course of the 40 years decadence, we still have a responsibility. We still have a responsibility, and the only means by which what we saw during the course of the war can come to a halt is to allow a legal process, like the U.S. ambassador is saying in Monrovia. In the absence of that, you cannot prejudge people when you are not dealing with any legal framework. That is what I'm trying to say. So if we are to be measured in this thing we're talking about, because Daniel Chair was defense minister, means that you will not vote. Daniel Chair obviously vote for somebody. The Constitution of Liberia gives him the will to vote and make a decision, he will also join a political party. He can even contest elections. It will be left with electorate to say this person was playing this role, so we should not. Like many of us, we campaign against Senator Johnson. But the onus of how people are accountable, it is on the president of the Republic of Liberia, who lobbied with legislator to pass subsidy for rice, and they grab the same subsidy and eat it. If you can lobby with legislator so that he can pass the War Economic Crime Code, so Daniel Chia can have the opportunity, like Mr. Cummings is now saying, that he supports War Economic Crime Code, so that both those who have been accused falsely and those who have been accused on the facts can go before the court of law and argue their rights, confronting the perpetrator. Confronting the victims. That is why Mr. Cummings is asking for. That is why War Crime Code advocates are asking for. So it will afford Councillor Ambassador Louis Brown, who have been alleged or accused by public opinions, and he will not resist it, and that is why he supports Mr. Cummings' agenda, because Mr. Cummings will do what President Weah had not done and will not do. So if we start to name people like Kai Fale, who demonstrated belligerent attitude against Ellis Cummings in Grand Jida County, under the stewardship of a very government that does not want to bring into full the establishment of World Economic Crime Code. If we talk about General Power, who are seen masquerading in front of Constant radio station, and along with ex-combatants having meetings and thanking Nathaniel McGill as a way of refortifying himself. When we see Koji saying that he will meet protesters in blood and flesh, those are demonstrated attitude of a wartime. When you hear President Weah saying nobody will cause me in this Monrovia and walk the street of Monrovia freely, or will say they want to protest and walk the street of Monrovia freely, then you understand. When you have the likes of Siafa Nomo, with Weah and that of Ellis Tata, then you understand what we are talking about. We cannot judge people by their face value except they have had current action that will give us the inclination that what they did in the past, they are still capable of doing it, and they are even geared up to do it. And the way we measure that is to see the vice of the president, Kai Fada, who fought war, leading thoughts against Ellis Cummings. You have never heard Daniel Chia, since the closure of the peace accord, talk anything about war business. You have never heard Louis Brown commend any man at General Power through McGill that was mobilized as combatant to go against opponents. So if these individuals have not demonstrated what George Weah, who have decided, who have been accused by Ellis Cummings,
Mr. Jonathan, your argument will not persuade me, and it's not doing nothing for me.
It's not meant to persuade.
Okay, I agree.
It's fact-based.
Fact-based, fine. But here we are, Jonathan. Here we are.
Let me learn. Kai Father went afar. Grenadian is amazing. A Grenadian who have served his country is amazing. And then the representative goes to talk about this case and raise the red flag. Kai Father moves into the radio station and physically fight the people like he fought Mr. Cummings along with thoughts. That is a belligerent attitude to the extent to which the AFL have to take command and can't rescue Mr. Cummings, a political leader. That is belligerent attitude. This is associated with
all of that, and
who are not decided to bring War Crime Code.
We were one of those. We were few other Grenadians among myself condemned that act. But here, my point is, all of these things that you're narrating and everything else, which is true, I agree with you. But to now say you want to equate that with a man who has written 2 open letters to the president. In one of the letters, come out and said the president should now clarify himself because he coming. Why not? You see, this is what you do, your ANC, this is what you do that is very funny. You're asking us to wait until the war crime court and then have these other people, they like a general chair or defense minister chair to be able to clarify themselves and be able to defend themselves. Why would Kumi not wait that time and then instead he go and write a letter accusing the president of supporting war rebel? Mr. Central Right, the question is still coming. Take your time, but yeah. I understand. That's why you guys do here. But tonight I'm in charge. Alfonso So is not here, and when he come here tonight, we'll kick him out completely because tonight I'm on fire. So the point here is this: you people arguing now that we should be able to hold ourselves because the likes of what's his name, the defense minister must have his day in court. Where was that day in court when Kumi came out and told the entire world that President Weah had supported rebels? Why couldn't he have waited until the war crime court where he would go and make a case and allow the president to come and defend himself? Now you want us to wait. We don't talk. You people don't want us to talk about it because we're saying something. We have to be measured what we say. What was the measurement you were using? What was the measurement Kumi was using when he accused the president of X, Y, and Z? Why couldn't he have waited for the war crime court? And you guys want us to sit down here? Look, I tell you, and let me tell you, we're not stupid anymore. We're here. You people and us will be in a one-on-one. Mr. Central Right, let me come to you with this question. The Cummings guy, who both of you support, and I because I know you guys, you're good people. You don't support anything foolish, so I believe that. I agree with you, and I respect your support. But my question to you is this: with this kinds of list that Kumi has put out there, some of the people that are on the list, highly respected member of their community. Not educated, but they are respected among the members of their own community, which I appreciate. But for Kumi to come and make a list at this time, are these people coming in? What would be the purpose of that list? Are they coming out to guide Kumi in the process of trying to take leadership of the Republic of Liberia with Daniel Chair as the incoming Minister of Defense?
Let me say to Mr. So, I don't know where you come from with the gutter politics, because among all the people, Daniel Chair is the one you have picked. Daniel Chair has overshadowed all the other people on that list because for the role he played during the MPFL. But these people are not, they are volunteers. These people, they are not being given any particular assignment, function to say this is the role you play. You'll be the security advisor. You will be the defense minister. It has not been done. And let me restate again. I said I have problem with Mr. Chair because of the role he played during the MPFL. Not that I saw him committing a crime. I do not have any evidence. But because of his name and the position he had the last time, that's why I say I have some reservation. But I cannot judge him until there are evidence to prove that. Now, the question I want to ask you, you continue to talk about that Mr. Cummings wrote, President Weah.
You see, when I don't mean to interrupt, but the statement you just made, I cannot judge him until, because was there any evidence from Cummings? Did he have any kind of supporting evidence when he made that public to the whole world?
My mouth. I come in there. Don't worry.
Okay.
The question I'm asking you, if someone accuses you, if you don't respond, it's full business. Cummings wrote an open letter to George Weah. Say, at this time, you gave XYZ to this organization. Timeline. President Weah has the right to say, hey, why are you trying to malign my character? I did not do this. Therefore, I will take you to court so you can provide the evidence to show that I did this. The person never said anything. I think it was day before yesterday. I saw Roger writing something about that issue, saying that the person never participated. But the person had never said anything personally to address that issue. So why he come here to make noise? That while coming wrote, we are when he had put Daniel Chair on his team. Anybody has the right to say, you know what, I'm going to the court, Daniel Chair did this. So therefore, I'm being hurt by his action. You have that right. You can do so. So for you to continue and say, oh, Cummings wrote George Weah. Yeah, Cummings, it was, they started back and forth. It was between he and George Weah. And he wrote George Weah and told you, this is what you did. These are the evidences. If George Weah figured that that was a lie, then of course you should take Mr. Cummings to court for defamation of character. He has a right. He can take him to court. But you cannot come here to say, to be the mouthpiece of George Weah. No. So if your point that because Daniel Chair served as defense minister, therefore, come you talk about change, he should not have selected Daniel Chair to be part of his team. I think that's your point. You're right. That's the opinion. But there's no facts to it that Mr. Daniel Chair killed people intentionally. I don't know it. Intentionally or intentionally.
I didn't say I didn't even say that he killed somebody.
You say he was shooting people.
No, I said directing people to shoot.
You said command. He had gone and shooting and command people.
No, he was commanding people to shoot.
Josh, what they are clear what they're trying to do.
Mr. ANC legislature, let's we have not invited you onto the conversation.
30 second information. They are trying to make us to appear like overly defending people who they are accusing, and thereby putting us into a quadrant of people who we are and thoughts have been also protecting. Then we all get on an equivalent scale. Then nobody is morally right to condemn anybody. That is what they're trying to do.
But the action of your political leader have shown that.
But I can dispel it. I can dispel it.
Samson told.
But go ahead, Uncle John.
Yeah, let me say this. Oh, it's not coming.
Mr. ANC legislature analyst. Well, there's no family business here. We don't call people uncle here. This is because once you do that, the both of you are not getting ready to get out on me because he's your uncle, and we don't do that here.
Mr. George.
Yes.
Let me say this. What you say is true, but I will ask you too. Look at when you start following comments, hey, decision-making process. This is one decision he had taken that you want to bring the house down, that this man has a problem. This decision he took. And that's why now you're banking on. But again, I will say this. If anybody has the right to express reservation of Mr. Chair, Daniel Chair, that one, and is anybody right? But all I can say, to say that Mr. Cummings, if he become president, Daniel Chair will be defense minister, and the other day someone said that he will be directing people to shoot people in the street, and I said the other day to the brother, hey, that statement is far from Mr. Cummings. That's just on top of the top, We cannot be. When we talk about issues,
let me ask you this, Mr. Josh. Let me ask you this simple question here, and please just answer it briefly for me, and then I can go to Jonathan. Like I said, I know who you are. You and I have been on these kinds of conversations for a long time now. One-on-one, sometimes 2 or 3 of us, sometimes for a whole 2 hours, sometimes 3 hours. Do you truly believe that with this coming selection of people at this time, that when it's all said and done, and Comey is successful to become the leader of Liberia, that he too will not be put in a bubble?
No. And up front, and I always say this. I met Comey personally 2014. And and listen to him, ask questions, he answer him. He won't. Because you see, the mentality of people in every country, in every institution, the leader set the pace. In every given institution, the leader set the pace. And to do that, you have to be willing to take some decision that way, even hurt some people who are very close to you. But if you come in any organization that the leader doesn't want to take decision that he feel that will hurt other people close to him, then of course you'll be a bad leader. And Mr. Comey, since I've been knowing, he's not noted for that. So I can already tell you
Jonathan,
that these people would not put Mr. Comey in a bubble.
Jonathan, let me ask you this. You and your young people that are supporting Cummings, do you guys have within you to distance yourself from Cummings, should in case or should he decide to go the way that perhaps might not be suitable for the Liberian people, and you, the young people of Liberia, the way that might not be supportive of your aspiration and dreams? Are you going to be prepared to distance yourself from this guy that many of you are singing praises for right now? Then the next question is, how can you do that when you already seem to us that many of you are tying yourself so much into this? Do you have the ability to cut the umbilical cord from Cummings?
Firstly, it is not about Cummings. It got to be established. Mr. Toh, I resigned from the ruling Unity Party 2012. And I took up founding membership with the Alternative National Congress. I'm not a prophet. I'm not a man of God, as in being a preacher. But I knew that after Unity Party 12 years, the party that was assumed to be, or that was the biggest opposition political party, had not demonstrated leadership if it should have been given to it at the time. And so I settled to be an in-between political party, that is to say, a party that will be ready as an alternative of the country to take on the helm of power. And Mr. Cummings, reading other political institutions in the country, knowing that the ANC had not had political leaders, decided to grow stronger so that no one person come and preside or influence it, and to grow after 2012 to 2016. He thought that it was the best party, though small, but to help guard so that they can reach to the success. Any leader, and this should not be restricted to Mr. Cummings, any leader, including President Weah, who was overwhelmingly voted 40 out of 15 counties, when they go against the aspiration of the Liberian people or any group of people in any part of the world, the only thing that is constant in life is change, and it must take place. So that question to answer is, we believe, and that is why you talk about biblical core, we believe it is not about Mr. Cummings, it is about Liberia and the state of mind Liberia and Liberians are currently in. They do not deserve it.
Jonathan, very brief for me, please. Very brief, because we're getting ready to wrap it up here. Very brief, and I'll ask you this again. Do you believe that Cummings has this within him to move this country forward, politically and economically? I'm not saying that Cummings will come in with all the gold and diamond and everything to make the street of Maria go, and that's not the point. But I mean, to provide, let me just make it simple. Does Cummings have it with him to provide political leadership that is needed in our country?
I
I
believe.
want you to don't give me the praise singing style. I want you to give it because many young people are also listening to you and they follow you a lot. So I want you to give it to me straight. Do you believe that Comey has it within him to provide a true political leadership in our country?
And most of the things that we say, it is not about just praise singing. We point indicators and we show you history. I believe undoubtedly, like I said previously, unhindered, that Mr. Cummings has the ability to set the tone of national leadership and political leadership in our country through different indicators. Through one wide range of consultation. That is why Mr. Cummings has tended to be a magnet that people are coming to, because he talks to bulk of the people. Look, I was listening to Serial Allen and said Mr. Cummings came into the library and sat down with him and had a conversation with him. He's done in Mr. Cummings' party. But he said Mr. Cummings had a conversation with him. Young people, university graduates, young people from Harvard, all technocrats. Mr. Cummings is always seeking opportunity. What can we do to make our country better? And it was on our mantra that we young people gathered together under the CPP banner to have requested Mr. Cummings, how can we chart a course to be a magnetic opposition against the ruling party and hold them scientifically to what they will promise the Liberian people by document and prove if they don't do it the right way. So I believe Mr. Cummings can do it, and that is why when I speak about indicators, it appears like praise singing. A president who say we must go to sciences, then he built science school for children to go through the process. A president who say education is the way, he goes to AME University. He put hundreds of thousands US$ there. The university graduate program is named after him. A person who goes to Nima Community College and head the engineering department. So
Okay, Jay. Thank you. We'll come back to
people
you.
will not have the ability to do it. And
Jonathan, we will come back to you. We will come back to you for you to close it. Let me go to Mr. George, and then that will be your closing as well. But let me ask you this. Like I said, I know you. You don't just get on and support people. Before you support, you have done your verification. You have done all of your homework. I know that for a fact. Because you're somebody who don't eat crab with Shane, and so you want to make sure that whoever you're giving your support to, that person, even if he's not Jesus Christ, but at least he has something that is appealing to you, and perhaps you will be able to sell. And so I ask you again tonight, Mr. George, if you were to be asked to go to Bond County, to go to Grand Gita, because those are two counties that you know well. And because the people that they pray Grand Gita, they know you too, and you know that. So those are the two counties I would name. But on a very serious note, if Kumi were to ask you, without giving you any kinds of blueprint of what to say and what have you, but he just asked you, go and campaign on my behalf in the two counties. Are you prepared to do that? And if so, what are some of the major statements that you would make for the old people to understand exactly who Kumina is?
First thing, I would do it. I would do it. And yeah, why I would tell my people, this man is not about himself. It is about improving the well-being of every Liberian. And someone asks you, why are you saying it? I will tell them, I met this man 2014. We were part of the Liberian Association here. He the one that gave up money, and almost 40,000, the Liberian community in Atlanta, to have a place. It was not about him giving up that he would get something in return. That money was given to the Liberian community at the time here. Then I will tell them he went to Liberia. He established a school. The only thing you need is to meet the requirement. No tribe, no party. The only thing is the requirement. That is to go to the school free. So these are some of the things I would be telling my people. These are reasons that I'm asking you people to vote for this man. Secondly, he's someone that has a record of not mismanaging people's property, or people funds. He worked in area for a very long time, and those areas has a record of him. How he managed those things, he was there. So these I think I will be telling my people the reason that they should vote for this man, because he will be someone that will distribute the country wealth equally, not just for one group or tribe or one group of people or people who are just surrounding them, because I have seen something like that in him. And I will tell you the story. The first time I met Mr. Cummings was in a meeting. And the question he asked people that meeting that day, he said, all of you people here are here for something, are in there for something. I said, yes. He said, but let me ask you people, if I were to become president, all of you here get a job in Liberia, how many of you people will be willing to take a pay cut? And that day, that was gravitated towards Mr. Cummings. Because then I sat down and asked myself, okay, I have seen other politicians, talk, but nobody ever asked this question. And asking other aim. I know everybody will want something in Liberia. But if you get a job, would you be willing to cut your salary? Because the money people make in Liberia is too much for that kind of country. So those are some of the things I will be telling my people about this man.
Okay.
And as one will say,
thank you.
I don't equate with Shane.
Thank you.
If I'm sitting down tonight talking for Mr. Cummings, if he were to become president and he start going left, I will be the first one who can join us.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Josh. Jay, briefly close it for us. If he start going left, you will go left with him or you will go right?
I'm always independent in that I believe in doing the right thing, and I'll always afford my leader the opportunity to share with them if they are proceeding wrongly first, to engage them, engage the institution, and have it on record where it proves otherwise, and lastly end up with a decision to be taken if the person persists. But I just wanted to say this thing here. That
Make it quick for us, please. Yeah, go ahead.
Quickly, revolutionary struggle comes in two forms. When it fails, it means that it's unguarded by prudent governance and political decision. Anytime you see a revolution fail, then it means that it's not guarded by governance and political decision, truthful guarded political decision. When revolutions succeed, or when revolutionaries come to power and they are succeeding, it means that they are guided by prudent governance structure and political decision. So you will see, for example, Paul Kagame, who fought war, has turned an entire country into a new revolution that everybody wants to emulate. If you see Jerry Rawlings' history, though he came and flew the plane and overthrew, which were unorthodox, it was bad, but the effect of governance is still felt in the life of the people. When we are talking about the people who fought war, we are not stopping people from accusing them for what they did during the course of the war. It is not our place to stop anybody to accuse them. Our place here is to measure those of their colleagues in other political parties, ruling party, who are taking on gangster raising, who are demonstrating what they did in previous time during the war and still doing it. The question now is, while we are waiting for war crime court, the American ambassador advocating, so that all the MPFL people can go there, all the model people can go there, all the lab people can go there and vindicate, and those who are lied on, we are saying, since 2003 up to 2022, what have been the most recent upheaval committed by Daniel Chie as compared to Kai Fale? And if we cannot answer that question, then it means that the government of Mr. Cummings accused its leadership of supporting Model, who has not thought it wise, like he passed something that he will steal again to talk to legislature to pass Walker Code. It means that he's benefiting out of the process. That's why he's not prosecuting or he's not bringing to bear those individuals so that the war and economic crisis can come. And the only thing we can do is to say to Mr. Cummings, you're hearing the people cry. We understand that Senator Daniel Chia wants to support you. We understand that other people want to support you. We understand since 2003 they stopped the war. Some of them have been involved into the forward march on Liberia. But when there's a war crime code, let everybody who are accused be given the opportunity to be heard so that we can know who did what, who lied on, and who did it for real. That is a fair chance that can be given people.
Okay. All right, guys. Mr. George, I want to thank you very much for your contribution again tonight. Thank you for taking me to the clinic again as usual. Without the help of Mr. So here tonight, I think you did excellent. Jay, Jonathan, thank you very much for your continuing.
Stop accusing my brother. Stop accusing my brother.
He can't control anything. Some people are asking for him. Why, Mr. So? What, I beg you, are in control. That I'm Mr. So tired. Why are you asking for Mr. So when I'm in control? You know. Why Mr. So we missing tonight? No, that I'm missing. I the liberal in charge.
You know what happened? I went to one that around the other day. Someone saw me, and the guy looked at me. He called my name. Then I look at him up and down. I said, I smiled. I said, hey, bro, how you doing, man? And I said, my man, I'm sorry. What's your name? He said, oh, Senator Red, what a liberal. I said, what?
Yeah, but anyway, thank you guys. Jay, thank you very much. I hope tomorrow, day after tomorrow, Cecil will be here and then we'll have a good conversation. But I will say good night to both of you. Thank you very much. All right, folks, Samson to Liberian Public Radio. We want to thank all of you that follow. And we're here again. And we say thank you very much. And whenever we come on, we expect you guys to come and disagree with us as much as you can. Agree with us if you think we're saying something that is right. If you don't agree with us, that's okay as well. But all we ask is that you come here and watch us and then express yourself freely. But let's be respectful to each other view as well. And I believe this audience has done a wonderful job here tonight. I went through most of the comment. Only one person used the word stupid here tonight, but the rest of it they were just disagreement, pure disagreement on ideas, nothing personal, on ideas. And this audience is an intellectual audience. I mean, I've always come on and say that. I believe that, because when you have people to stay with you for 2 hours and you say some ridiculous thing that I've been saying here tonight and nobody come out to cuss you, then these are intellectuals. They would disagree with you based on pure ideas, have nothing personal. And that's what I say. I want to thank you guys very much. Hopefully you will join us again. Mr. So will be back. And once he comes in, of course, we will then show ourselves again and disagree with him. Whether he says something good, he says something good, I will still disagree with him anyway. But on a very serious note, I want to thank you guys and say good night to all of you. Good night, folks.
Aha! Joey. Wakava, my baby, twambe usonga. Wakava, kasiti twambe uwina. Mama meka na kusaku wanyeni maela. Mama mekwa umasaku wanyeni mona. Niwa makwetyo samba sange wasiamana. Measia tulisoma chinyene nagu. Mateseka na wendo witondu kwa moja. mateseka na wendo wito ni wakeshua nekolia tene maiba ni utongoza tene maiba oinde namba tene maiba tuichaji ginokalika boksi yakwa kama lonze nimeubinya singila singila katalo kokele katalo kokele ai Utabiende tosimoyo ama ukabangu utabiende tosilato wendo wimoyo uiza utetanga kitei chaku cha wendo ni changwatisye kitei chaku cha wendo ni chanasye mapenzi maku makitie undwa chonze mapenzi maku makitie undwa kelai niwa mawetyo samba sange wasyamana Measia tulisoma chinyini nadu mateseka na wendo wito ndi wa moja mateseka na wendo wito ni wakeshua nekolia tene maiba ni utongoza tene maiba uine namba tene maiba tuichaji ginokalika boksi yakwa kama lonze nimeubinya singila singila katalo kokele katalo kokele ai asanda Elevax Media fans Wemakwa